So I own this book. It's a book about churches, and it gives a brief description about churches big or small up and down the country. It gives a little picture and a paragraph about said church, its history and any notable features to it. Rather interesting actually. Some of them are bloody gorgeous. But what I noticed when I first glanced at this was that so many churches in Britain were built in the 12th century. Not all of them by any means, but many of them are. Even my local church is a 12th century part of it, 12th century. So I thought, who invested so much? They must have been very powerful, very rich, but someone really wanted to encourage the construction of churches around the nation. Why did they want to? What influenced them to do this? So I went on a little investigation to find out for myself, and I'm now sharing that wisdom that I have with you to find out just why the 12th century saw so many churches be built in the UK. Let's go find out. First, we're talking about the Norman conquest of 1066 that changed everything. When William the Conqueror seized England, his Norman lords wanted to cement their authority and show their devotion to God. They built massive Romanesque churches, often called Norman in style now, like Durham Cathedral for instance. But these weren't merely places of worship. They were bold statements of power, of wealth and of divine approval. The Normans had arrived and they needed people to know. Next, we're actually taking it back a notch to the Gregorian reforms of the 11th century, which pushed for greater spiritual authority in medieval Europe. As a consequence to these reforms, new monasteries were founded up and down the UK, and each monastery had to have its own church, thus fueling construction as they acted as gateways to salvation amongst not just the UK's but Europe's downtrodden communities. The 12th century also saw a growing population in Britain, which by nature meant that more churches were needed to serve local communities. As the parish system took shape, lords and landowners helped fund new churches to A, act as spiritual hubs, but B, boost their social standing. These replaced obsolete wooden structures with new durable stone churches to complete that typical, iconic village church look like we know today. And here's a great example. Economic prosperity played a huge role too. The 12th century saw advances with regards to agriculture and thriving trade, filling the coffers of lords, bishops and communities. This wealth funded ambitious building projects as patrons sought divine favour or forgiveness through their generosity, and churches were the perfect solution. They could display and boast about their wealth while securing a legacy in stone. In the 12th century, Canterbury of all places became a major pilgrimage route after the murder of Thomas Becket, meaning along the way on these pilgrim routes many churches were either built or expanded to attract visitors and donations, making them not just spiritual hubs but economic engines for these medieval towns. Finally, architectural innovation helped spark this building frenzy, as in the 12th century we began to see a shift from the more sturdy Romanesque style of church to a Gothic interpretation, first imported from France and first adopted here by Canterbury Cathedral after it was rebuilt because of a fire in 1174. Features such as a pointed arch or stone vaulting allowed for bigger, brighter churches that inspired awe. Builders actually competed to create these masterpieces, complementing not just their spiritual ambitions, but human ingenuity. I like that, and I think we need more of it today with architecture. Don't we? Eh? It's a right laugh. So, why were so many churches built in 12th century Britain? Well, it was a perfect storm between Norman power, religious passion, population growth, wealth, pilgrimage, and architectural breakthroughs. So yeah, not much, to be honest. But churches weren't just buildings. They were the heartbeat of medieval Britain, whose legacy still lives on today. It's a bloody good read if you know this book. Ooh. Always learning new things, see? Thanks for watching.